This video will show the beginning steps in the process to model a hotel room from drawings in SketchUp. We will only concern ourselves with this area of the drawings. So here's SketchUp. I'm going to leave the person there for right now, but we're going to delete it just in the next few steps here. So we're going to make two rectangles. So R for rectangle, click a point, move it away, let go of the mouse, and type in 14'3", 20'10", enter. The rectangle should look about this big in relationship to the person. Click a point, move away, let go of your mouse, type in 4'9", space 5/8, 8'9", enter. I need a space between the 9 and the 5, otherwise there'll be a problem. If they look like that, you can get rid of the person. If they don't, I like the person there because then we know we got the right size. I've had people actually make this in inches, and it's like 14 inches. Like, yeah, no, it's not gonna work. By mistake, not on purpose, of course. And where to get the numbers from? I want you to always be aware the numbers are coming from somewhere. And so here in the floor plan, here's the big one. Now 14'3", 20'10", right? Here's 4'9" and 5/8. 4'9" and 5/8. And then for the other direction, the 8'9", I had to take this 9'7" dimension, add 6 1/8, and subtract 10, and then work these numbers, and then to get the thickness here with this another 6 1/8, and in the end, I got the number 8'9". So now the next thing is I need to have some tape measure line, because these two rooms interact with each other a specific way. So T for tape measure, click on this edge and come in 2'4", space 7/8, enter. And that came from here, right? Here's it is, 2'4", 7/8. It's from this wall to this edge. So that's where this little vestibule piece is going to slip in. Double click to select this piece here. M for move, I'm going to grab this corner here, click, I'm going to put it right here, click. Select the whole thing and just kind of move it like there in relationship to the the axes, move it like in this orientation. I like to get in the habit of getting things close to that orientation. You can delete the guidelines, just erase the guideline, you don't need them anymore. I like to delete the guidelines as I go. Next thing we're going to do is create the guides for the walls. So it's going to look like this when we're done, all right? So this wall here in the hallway, so the wall here that goes to the hallway is 6 1/8. That's 6 1/8. So 6 space 1/8. This wall over here off the room is 1 foot. And the reason is 1 foot, there's a column here. So the column, so they made it fat so that it goes around the column. And the outside wall, this outside wall here is 1 foot as well. So it's 1 foot here, 1 foot here, 6 1/8, 6 1/8 down here. And then this wall here around the bathroom is 4 7/8. And we see that number right there. See 4 7/8. So looking at this drawing, tape measure tool, and let's kind of go with me. Take a look here. So click on this outside line, click and go away from the piece in the green, 1 foot. Click on this line here, click and go away in the red, 1 foot, and press enter. This line here, take a look at this one. This one here, click and drag away, again, away from the main space, 4 space 7/8, enter. And this one here, click and go this way, 4 space 7/8, enter. And this front one, click here and go away from that shape, 6 space 1/8, enter. And we're not going to do this side because I'm going to give it to you. L for line. And by the way, I'm going to do these shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts, get in the habit because it really speeds you up. L for line. I'm going to start back here and work my way to the front. I can do it the other way around, but I'm going to do it this way. Click on this back corner, click, and then go in the green. Make sure you're not going in the blue. Don't go up in the blue by mistake. You want to go in the green. If necessary, hit the left arrow key on the keyboard. Left is green, right? And then click on this outside line here. Click. And then go across to this intersection, click, and go across to the other intersection, click, to the front, click, click. And when you get to this front one, take a look here a second, take a look. Make this front one hover, 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 and then move away slowly and click. And then go back to the vestibule and click. When you go all the way around, you should enclose it. It should become an enclosed shape. Then on this little piece here, I'm gonna do the rectangle tool, R for rectangle. I'm gonna click this point here, click, and go to this point over here, click. Could I have done a line tool and went like this, line here, here, and here? Sure. But rectangles are faster. L for line, I'm gonna do one line from here to here, click, click. I draw that line in there, from there to there, and that's in this corner right here. And then I'm gonna do push-pull, so, but with control. So P for push-pull, and tap the control key. You should get a little plus next to that arrow. Click here and go up, type in 9 foot. Click here and go up, type in 9 foot. And on this outside one, click and go up 8 foot. I can tap the control key. I don't need to push pull with control anymore. So I can tap the control key off. Click on this end here, click, and come all the way across to here, click. Because that wall goes all the way across like that. And by the way, we got that from the drawings in here, see, plus 8 foot, plus 9 foot. So now I'm going to use the eraser tool. I'm going to erase this edge here, this one right there, this top one. So E for erase. And I'm also going to erase this one down here. Don't use control on this. It's not control erase. We're not softening that edge. We're erasing that edge. We're getting rid of the edge altogether. So your model should be cleaned up now, looking something like this. Let's go ahead and get rid of the guidelines. I like to clean up as I go. And a quick way of doing it is go to Edit, Delete Guides. Edit, Delete Guides. You can erase each one individually if you want, but Edit, Delete Guides really works much better when you have a lot of lines to get rid of. Now is a good time to save the file. We've done some work and it's nice to save periodically. Let's go File, Save As, and you're going to put it in what? Your SketchUp folder, right? Call it Hotel with your initials on it. And now if the power goes out on us, if something happens, the internet breaks down, who knows? At least to this point it's saved. So now I want to put the baseboard on this model. And I could do a couple of different ways. One, I can actually draw the line, right? I can do a line command and draw all the way around. Or I can select the edge of the floor and copy it up. Double click to select the floor and its edge. Hold down the Shift key and click the floor once. The Shift key either adds or subtracts from a selection. So all you now have is a blue line around the perimeter, right? M for move, and tap the control key. Just tap the control key. So your move must have a little plus next to it. Click on one of the corners here like this one, click, and go up in the blue and type in 4, press enter. Could I have drawn around the perimeter? No problem, yes, but it takes more time and more clicks. This is fast. 2 clicks, Shift click, 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 done. Now I'm going to select this line right here. This one right here, see? That's floating in space. It's just not doing it. It's just floating in space. Select it, delete. And then this one, select, delete. Now I want to make components of the different pieces I have so I can work with them individually. Orbit to the underside. This will look something like this. Double click to get the bottom, but I also want to click the bottom of the walls. See, I'm selecting them all. So I double click to get one and hold down the shift key and select the other ones, or the control key, right? So everything's kind of dotted up, little dots everywhere. Right click, make component. Let's call this component floor. And please make sure that this is selected here. If it's already clicked, don't click it again. It's already selected. Hit create. So it should look like this now. When you click on the floor, you should just have a bounding box. And it should be inclusive of these walls under the walls. Triple click the top. Now, if you can't triple click very well, you can do a window, but you need to deselect the floor. The floor can't be selected. Right click, make component, and call it walls. So now you've got two components, walls and floor. I made these components as I went along the way so that they don't stick together, right? Let's make one more piece, the ceiling. R for rectangle. I'm going to click this corner here, click, go over to this corner over here, click, and same thing here, click, click. Now the problem with the ceiling is that we're doing the interior, right? We're actually remodeling the interior. So the front face is facing up. That's not what we want. We want the front face facing the interior. So I'm going to select, right click, reverse faces, select, right click, reverse faces. So now the front face is facing inside. Okay. And actually on the floor, double click the floor and right click reverse faces too. The floor should be the light color as well. So I'm going to double click to select this one, hold down the control key, double click to select this one. Right click, make component, ceiling. So we can click the floor separate, the walls separate, the ceiling separate, and we have these separate components. So double click to get inside the ceiling component, T for tape measure. And we're going to do these. Remember, we have a soffit over the bed, and we've got a channel for the track that kind of raises up higher. Let's take a look at that a second. So looking at the reflective ceiling here, this reflective ceiling plan, here's that piece there over the bed. It's 12 feet long by 3'6". And this up here, although it's not noted, I think I have it 10 inches. So here, hover here, click, go across, type in 10, enter. So that's the outside wall, right? That's our outside wall. Here, click here, come across, type in 12 feet, enter. Right, because it's 12 feet from this wall. It's 10 inches from this one. And then this inside, 3'6", enter. Now we're inside the component, right? And if we're not, that's okay, but get inside the component for the next steps. I'm gonna do R for rectangle. I'm gonna click this corner here, click to this corner here, click. And the same thing on this other side here. Click to this one here, click. They could have been done with a line tool. Let's go to edit, delete guides. It looks something like this. This end here is going to go down, right? This piece here is going to go down into the space, and this piece here is going to go up from the space, right? Because look at this. This is at 9'6". Well, this is a 9 foot, and that's 9'6". This is at 7'6". You know. So this one would push pull up 6, right? Because if that's 9 foot, you got to go up another 6 inches. This back one, I'm going to push pull down 1'6". Because what? 7'6" is the height of that area. So 9 foot minus 1'6" is 7'6". Here, you're getting this funny, if you orbit, you can see this funny thing going on with this back area of this piece. What's happening is that because they're two separate components, when you push pull this down, it created a surface there. And the computer's saying, well, what do you want to show me? This one? Or do you want to show this one? or do you want to show this one? Which surface do you want me to show you? Because they're both exactly on top of each other. And so when you see that, that means you've got two things touching each other. And I like to clean it up. I like to clean up, only get rid of one of them. I don't need that. So I'm going to use E for erase. I'm going to erase this back corner right in here, like that. Just kind of click. I just click and drag these last three corners. See that? Because if I click and drag here, I get all three of them in a row. Boop. The other ones I want, right? They're not doing that. They call it Z fighting, but you know, they're not doing that kind of bouncing back and forth like that. This outside one, kind of a little different, but kind of the same. See these lines here, this one here and here, and over here. I don't really want that in the ceiling component because it's not really ceiling. It's going to be wall. I'm going to adjust my wall, but right now I got to get rid of it. So I'm going to just erase. Click and drag here, and click and drag here. So it should look something like this. Now our ceiling is flat as a pancake, and so is our floor. But if we were doing a section through this, I'd put some thickness to these things. It's just not going to be important. What we're doing is not going to be important for the floor and the ceiling, so I'm going to leave them flat. One last thing on our ceiling to clean it up or to make it more match is that this soffit isn't one big massive soffit. If you remember, they had like this little lip around the perimeter, just kind of this little kind of design. And so I'm going to use the tape measure tool. Click here, go up in the blue, 6, enter. Click here, go up in the blue, 6, enter. And I can just do the line tool. Go from here to the intersection, and this to the other side in here. So I went from here, back up, and then back over. I will use the push-pull tool. Click here and go in 8. And click here and go in 8. So from this outside edge, I went in 8 on both sides. And then notice when we push pulled, we got these extra lines in there. If you zoom up carefully, you'll see these extra lines in here. Like there's a line here and there's the lines here. Just erase them. Erase this line here and erase this line here. Same thing over here. See over here? There's some lines here. Okay? And then go to edit, delete guides. So get rid, there's a line here, you erase that line there, erase this line here, right? And then there's one on top. You have to zoom in kind of carefully, and there's one on top here. Okay, hit the space bar to go back to the select tool and click out of that ceiling component and double click into the wall component. And I'm gonna draw a line right here. Just break that top surface. Make sure the line's in the red. I'll push pull up this 6 inches so it matches the top. So you see my wall's going up. And that's better than having that little nip on top there because I want that wall paint, you know, whatever wall finish is on the inside to come up that face all the way up. And that really is the wall. So at this point, it looks something like this. You got the ceiling with a little step up going on. We've got the floor here. We've got baseboard. If we were going to build this thing with the right thicknesses of the floor for some reason, it should look like this. But we're just doing the interior of the room. It's going to be a little easier not to have that thickness to deal with. Okay, it's not wrong. I'm just saying we don't need that. We're just doing one room. I've seen this happen sometimes when people have like a balcony overlooking another floor. They forget that thickness of the balcony. It's like, no, you gotta give some thickness there. So always remember there's some thickness going on there. All right, the next part of this lecture is talking about tags. Before this year they changed what was called layers. They changed it to be called tags now. This video is about layers, which is now tags, but all the stuff it says is exactly the same. So anytime it says layers, think tags. Additionally, the original first layer was called layer 0. Our first layer is now called untagged. So when they say put everything on layer 0, basically put everything on a layer called, a tag called untagged, all right? But other than that, the video is pretty good and it's worth watching. So to see the tags, you go to Window, default tray, and tags should be selected. As a matter of fact, if you have a moment, just select all of these. We're going to be using them off and on anyways. And then I also like to have all of these condensed. In other words, open them up as I need them, only as I need them. Otherwise, shrunk up like this. That way they're all there. I can click them quickly and get to them quickly without having a problem. And tags should be open. Notice it doesn't say layer 0. So if I say open in one of these panels, it means make the triangle face downward and expand the piece. Untagged is the layer 0 they're talking about. You want everything in an untagged layer. You didn't know it because we've been using it. That's how we've been doing it. Since we have not made new layers, everything's been done untagged. Then make it a component. Make it a component. So all these pieces and make it a component, and then make a layer and put that component in that layer. Now make a layer, put the component in the layer. Okay. And so we're gonna make these. Excuse me. If I say layer, I mean tags too. This is the first year we have tags, so I gotta get used to it. Make these tags: ceiling tag, floor tag, furniture tag, walls tag. All right. We're needing all these different tags. So hit the plus sign here under the tags, hit the plus sign, that makes a new thing. So if you ever see plus in SketchUp, that's something new, right? You can have to look at the graphics. And that tag is going to be, call it, let's start with ceilings. Plus floor, walls. Okay, ceiling, floor, furniture, walls. And your color might be slightly different than my color. There's no real magic to the color. We can change them. We can actually click in there and change that color. For this purposes, it's fine the way it is. So we make everything in untagged, and we made the tags. And we're going to do it 2 different ways to put the items in the tags. The first one click on the ceiling. And then over here in your tag manager, select ceiling. And then click away. So if you remember the video said that you select the component and go up to the tag manager and put it in the tag you want it to be. So if I click on this, if I click on the ceiling once, it should say ceiling up there. If I click away, it should say untagged. Notice here on the side, we have visibility. So the ceiling here, if I don't want it to be visible, I can click on that eyeball and it's no longer visible. Click on the eyeball, make it visible again. And that's gonna be handy because we'll be making the 4th wall to this room. So to get inside the room, we gotta make things visible and invisible, right? So we can get around it. Also notice the pencil is on untagged. You always want this pencil, this is the active layer. You always want that pencil to be there. If it ends up down here somewhere, by mistake, it got switched. You never want it there. You never want to draw things on a layer. You want to draw on a tag that is not untagged. You always want the untagged layer to be the active layer at all times. So one way is to select the item, select the component, and go and change it this way. The other way of putting it on the correct layer is to select the item again, but to go right-click Entity Info. So we only one click to select, then Entity Info. And the Entity Info dialog box shows up over here. So one click, right-click Entity Info over here. And then here for tag, select walls. So it's already defined as walls. See, it says walls, that's the definition. It's already defined as walls. But here under the tag, change that to walls as well. And the floor, you do your own way. Either do it by the pull down or by the Entity Info. It doesn't matter to me. But put that on the floor layer. The floor, if you click on it once, it should say floor. Click on the walls once, it should say wall. Click on the ceiling once, it should say ceiling. And so let's go ahead and save this now. So we're going to go ahead and locate the door This is the bathroom area. Remember, this is the bathroom area. We're going to locate the door, and it goes in there. And looking at the plan, the architectural plan, we see the restroom doors right here, and it's 4 inch 7/8 from the outside corner, and then 2 foot 8, and then 2 foot 10 and a half. I'm going to go inside the component. Go inside the component. The wall component. The ceiling and the floors are going to be grayed out. T for tape measure, and hug this edge. Click. Come across in the green. Type in 4 space 7/8. Enter. And then click this line here, click, come across, 2 foot 8, enter. And then this line, click, come across, 2 foot 10.5, enter. There you go, that works too. And I got them from this PDF, right? 4 7/8, 2 foot 8, 2 foot 10 and a half. 4 7/8, 2 foot 8, 2 foot 10 and a half. I typed in 2 foot 10.5, enter. And the height of the door is in the first page. We see it's 7 foot 1 1/4 to the height of the frame. Do you see that? 7 foot 1 1/4 to the height of the frame. All right. So tape measure up, 7 foot space 1/4, enter. We are inside the wall component. By the way, if you're not inside the wall component right now, you can go in right now. It doesn't matter if the tape measure lines are in it or outside of the wall component. It's just the next step has to be inside the wall component. Then inside the wall component, do a rectangle from here to here. That breaks that wall surface, so we can then pull that back. And this bottom piece here, I'm not going to be able to get very easily one time. There'll be a line left over. So I just do eraser tool and just click and drag down. And there's a line here on the floor. There's a line here on the floor you want to erase as well. Now this line here is in the floor component. That's a whole different ball of wax. But right now, there will be a one in this wall component. Just get rid of that. Right. So click out of the whole project and go ahead and save it. If you're at this point of the process, this is all you need to be at when we come to class next time.